Hello there, crafters. Today we are going to make a couple of things that celebrate the story of Ruth, which is a wonderful and powerful biblical account that honors not only love and friendship, but God's faithfulness, how He loves us and is faithful to us and sends us a Redeemer in Jesus. So, a wonderful, wonderful story. We're going to highlight all of that in a couple of crafts, or as close as we can come. So we are going to remember the story of Ruth and Naomi with our activities today. The first one we're going to make is a wheat basket to remember how Ruth went to glean in the fields and pick wheat. So we're going to make a basket. Now, there are multiple ways that you could go about doing this. We are going to use a paper plate today. And again, a couple of options here. I'm going to show you one option, but I'm going to tell you about another option. So you could cut this in half and staple the two sides together to have it be one basket that you carry around. Now what I am going to do is a little bit different because I'm going to put my wheat basket against a backdrop. So I'm going to use one paper plate, and I'm actually going to cut part of it so that the handle and the basket are kind of all in one spot. So I'm going to cut this top part so that I leave a space of my plate to be the handle. And then the bottom is going to be the basket part. So it'll make sense in just a moment. So I'm going to kind of cut part way out like this. Like this. There we are. So now you see I have my basket. Now what I'm going to do is, as I mentioned, I've got a backdrop here, and I'm going to decorate my basket and place it on the backdrop along with a picture of Ruth and Naomi to remember the story. So I'm going to have my plate right here, and you can glue or tape that onto the backdrop. I might use a little bit of both, actually, a little glue and a little tape. We'll see how this holds up. And then I'm going to add some captions and some decorations. So here is my basket, and here is my wheat. I'm going to add some wheat to kind of enhance the whole wheat gleaning part of the story. You can add the wheat in a couple of ways. You can use cut up pieces of paper. I'm going to use a couple of sticks to sort of represent my wheat here. Or, and then with those, you'll probably want to tape them down. Or one other option, which is kind of fun, is Cheerios or some other kind of cereal, which kind of represents the wheat. Or you could use crackers or something like that. Again, just something to show, or a soggy, slobbered on animal cracker. That could work as well. Thank you very much. So again, just something to showcase that wheat element is what we're going for. And plop that on there. There we go. So now we're going to add some captions. And again, I've got a picture of Ruth and Naomi just to sort of highlight the story there, but you don't have to have that. We can add on to our basket. We can make it look kind of more baskety. Baskety is totally a word. But you know, I could sort of decorate this part here. And I can say something like, Ruth is just part of the story that we're recalling here. And then over here, I can write something like, God is faithful. Now, the section in particular that we're talking about is from Ruth chapter 1. The wheat gleaning actually didn't happen until later in the story, so you could reference any part of the book of Ruth here. Now, again, this is just kind of making it more of like a total poster picture that you could hang or turn into a magnet, or you could just make it into your basket. So, lots of options there. That is craft number 1. Craft number 2, I'm going to actually start with my backdrop here, and I'm going to explain what's going on, because this can be something that you give away or that you keep. So if it's something I give away, I might say something like, friends like you are a gift from God. And I'll say praying for you. So we're going to make a prayer bracelet or a necklace. Different ways you could do this. And I'm going to show you a couple ways, or you could make 2. You could make one for yourself and one to give away. Now we're going to make a simple bead bracelet here, but there's one other fun way that I'll show you. You can do it. We're going to start with the beads, and you can do this as a prayer bracelet, or maybe every color represents something different, or you can just use your friend's favorite colors and then give them the bracelet later. So to avoid taking up all of our time, we're just going to string some beads on here, and the other part of our jewelry making bracelet slash necklace slash whatever you're going to make is I'm going to make a cereal bracelet. Again, to kind of remember that whole component of gleaning wheat with Ruth and the story of Ruth. So you could do this with pasta noodles, you could do it with Fruit Loops or Cheerios or any kind of item that can be poked onto a pipe cleaner or string. And you could make it, again, you can make it a necklace if you want to use a longer string. I'm just going to do a simplified bracelet here, but that can be something that, again, if you want to give it away, you can give it away to remember the story, or you can keep it and have a snack for later. So here's my first iteration of the bracelet. Lovely beads. Now for number 2, again, I'm not going to fill this all the way up for timing purposes, but you're welcome to put Cheerios or noodles or whatever you've got along the whole of this. It's actually a great activity for, well, any age, but for younger students it's great because it's a good practice of fine motor skills, and who doesn't want to eat their jewelry later, right? And bonus, you can practice things like counting, or if you use Fruit Loops, you can talk about colors, and then you can experiment with Fruit Loops that have different flavors, or do they not have different flavors? You can tell I've done this a couple times. So we're gonna stop there, but you get the idea. The fun wheat-ish Cheerios. Actually, I don't think Cheerios maybe even have wheat, but they're fun to craft with. So there you have 2 wonderful bracelet options that you can keep or give away to remember the loyalty and friendship and wheat gleaning of Ruth in the story of Ruth, and the relationship she had with her mother-in-law Naomi, but even more importantly, the relationship that God has with us. So, friendship or wheat bracelets and wheat gleaning basket or poster, both to remember the story of Ruth and hopefully celebrate friends along the way. As always, this is just an idea. Take it, make it, change it, do what you like, but enjoy and make some crafts, make some disciples. Have a wonderful week. We will see you next time.